machine here in the third quarter. The Denver Avalanche.
We've faced tough times this year, and so we've learned how to handle setbacks and then just getting to work.
10 straight points by the Heat. And Miami, their first lead since early in the second quarter. Duncan Robinson drives and finishes. Tremendous response. Miami's overcome a 15-point deficit. Back out to Murray. His three-pointer. Three-point game, 4 seconds. Murray, step back, three-pointer. Won't go, and it's over. The Miami Heat have tied the NBA Finals. What a comeback here on the road for the Heat.
All right, looking ahead to Game 3 of the NBA Finals, which is Wednesday, with it tied up at 1 game apiece. The team that wins Game 3 goes on to win the title 80% of the time. Now, that trend hasn't necessarily held up recently, as Game 3 winners have just a 4-4 series record since the 2010 Finals. All right, time now for a little game of right or wrong. Monica, I'm going to start with you. Frank Vogel, great fit for Kevin Durant, Devin Booker in the Suns. Is that right or wrong?
Is there a middle ground? It's right. It's fine. Right? Like, Frank Vogel has won a championship. Like, he's respected. I do think that his former team had a little bit more of a defensive pedigree, so there's a lot to be seen in terms of how they fill out the rest of this roster. That's not necessarily KD and Book's calling card, although I think KD is a terrific defender when he's locked in.
Perk, James Harden's best shot at a title is staying in Philly with Joel Embiid. Is that right or wrong?
It's definitely right. Because of the transition of James Harden actually moving to that point guard spot, when you have the two-time leading scoring champion on your team, the big Philly, you better stay put, because he's definitely, when healthy, could be the best player in any series.
Wendy, Anthony Davis's upcoming extension is a bigger deal than LeBron's retirement talk. Is that right or wrong?
That's right. And I want to just point out that Anthony Davis can't sign the extension until August. So it's going to be after, he sees what the Lakers do this offseason. But Anthony Davis is still in his prime. If you want to focus on his shortcomings and the negatives, go have at it. The man is an absolute dominating player. He's vitally important for any team having postseason, hopes and dreams. And they do not want him messing with free agency in 2024. That's a primary offseason thing for the Lakers. Get Anthony Davis locked down past when LeBron is even signed for.
All right, based off of that, Perk, should Rob Pelinka and the Lakers just be rushing to sign Anthony Davis to an extension?
No, they shouldn't. I wouldn't. Here's the thing. We haven't seen a healthy Anthony Davis in, 3 or 4 years? And you have to start asking yourself, if you're the front office, if you're Rob Pelinka, can you trust AD and hand him the keys to the car? I understand. We all talk about how he's a generational talent, but health matters. And when I think about health and I think about handing the keys, durability. Can he be the number one option to take your team over the top? And we have to be honest with that question. We all expect him to be. We see it at times. But what was the biggest talk in the postseason? Can AD put together back-to-back games consistently of being dominant? Or is it the odd game or the even game AD we're going to get? When you start to have those question marks, if I'm the front office, then I'm going to say, you know what? I got to see more out of him. I'm sorry.
I see you sipping that tea over there. Is that McNuts or what?
My throat coat. Perk, I just think AD catches a bad rap, and I don't know that it's fair. Like, if your options are build around this guy or scrap it, like, I think that is a big swing, and I think that's a little bit unfair. I mean, he's still one of the best defenders in the league. He's still got a ton of ability to score. I think he's a guy that guys want to play with. I could be wrong in that estimation, but I think you figure out how to get this deal done. I feel like in the absence of Bron over the course of the month of March and in this postseason, they lost to a very good Nuggets squad. Like, he showed, to me, growth in terms of a guy that you can build around.
Perk, what do you think?
Well, I didn't say scrap it. We're talking about an extension, so he still is under there for 1 more year. But again, I haven't seen AD be healthy. And my thing is, when you're talking about the franchise guy, right now, at the age of 38, I could trust and depend on the LeBron James more than I can to Anthony Davis, and that's a problem.
It's LeBron, though.
So what is
Like, that is
38?
the highest bar to put any basketball player up against.
No, it is not at 38 years old going into season 21. Like, like that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Like, come on now, be fair.
All right, okay.
Listen, the Lakers have got a lot of decisions they've got to decide, and one of them is building around. You talk about LeBron and AD. How about Kyrie Irving? You know, he's got free agency. Wendy, where do we stand in this Kyrie free agency situation with him?
Yeah, at the end of the season, I thought that the Lakers might consider clearing the cap space and making a run for Kyrie. But all of the indications and what Rob Pelinka has said and what they're, sort of lining up behind the scenes point to them doing exactly what Pelinka has gone on the record saying and keep this team together. That would mean re-signing Rui Hachimura, re-signing Austin Reeves, and potentially re-signing Lonnie Walker. I do think it's a question mark about if you're going to re-sign D'Angelo Russell, what's the contract going to be? Because he was making $30 million. He's not a $30 million player, in my opinion. And as far as Kyrie goes, I mean, I think the Dallas Mavericks really do want to keep him, and they still have the positional power to pay him more money than anybody else. Certainly can pay him more than the Lakers, and that has to be somewhat of an issue for Kyrie because he asked to be traded from the Nets because of the contract offer that they gave him. And so, having been, 3 weeks now off the end of the Lakers season, I would say that it is most likely they do go forward with this core, and that if I had to handicap it right now, I would say the most likely pace for Kyrie Irving would be back in Dallas. Not saying it's locked down, not saying it's done, but if I had to lead, best odds, I would say back in Dallas.
Okay, so then, Perk, do you think that the Lakers should just stick with this young core, not pursue Kyrie Irving, and can they get out of that crowded West with this young core that they've already had?
They can. And I love the growth from Rui Hachimura, the change of scenery, being up under LeBron wing, working out with Phil Handy on a day-to-day basis. I actually love it because we saw the best out of him. I think Lonnie Walker, he's going to continue to get better. And Austin Reeves is a flat-out stud. I think you run it back with this group. Yeah, you could add some additional pieces, go out there on the free agency market to improve the depth on his bench. I don't know the situation with Malik Beasley, but I wouldn't consider bringing him back. But absolutely, you got to bring back Rui and Austin Reeves, no doubt about it.
Well, give me a final word on this.
I'm just glad Perk and I found a common ground this morning because I feel like we've been at odds. I agree. I think that this team.
You've been at odds.
I'm cool. That's you over there and saying the same thing twice like somebody was arguing with you. Anyway, I agree. I think that this team, they were terrific. They only can get better with more time to gel and develop more continuity and chemistry.
All right, I love it. I love it. See, we can come together. It takes us a while. But we can come together here. All right, coming up, we got to get back to last night's mile-high miss in game